citizen of Wisconsin. Kingdom citizen, yeah, kingdom citizen.
Blessings, 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 blessing everybody. Blessings, blessings. This is Dr. David D. King, Kingdom Citizens of Wisconsin, and I am just blessed to have each and every one of you with me on tonight. Just waiting on my special guest to come on, and we're gonna just have a glorious time talking. So as we set up and start to tag people in, y'all just go along with me and let's tag some folks in this tonight. And I am just so grateful that my friend is joining us. I see Tyrone, Pastor Tyrone, bless you, sir. We got to get together, sir. We haven't got together in a long time. So we need to get together today. I just saw my friend pop up in the back of the studio, and I am about to bring him on as I continue to share. You guys continue to share and tag as we go on. And my friend, my brother, J. Rod is in the house.
How we doing, David?
Oh, man, we're doing good. How are you?
Way better than dead.
Way better than dead. Hey, you know, if I don't know if your computer is connected to like your Facebook or your wife Facebook, but you should be able to look at it and you be able to tag, send it out to your people as well.
So, yeah, because I'm still in jail. I've got another
right.
10 years or 10 years, 10 days.
10 years, 10 days. You got them coming, huh? So
Yep,
they got you locked down, huh?
They do.
Wow. See, I thought I was the only one get locked up like that, but
no,
I think I still have the longest sentencing than anybody. I think I did about three months.
Okay.
They put me in jail until after the election, and I was like, wow. So
10 years. That's funny.
I know, 10 years.
Yep.
So, sir, what are we gonna start with today?
Boy, there's been something that's been on my mind since last week.
Oh, okay. So I guess I believe that's where we're going then.
Yeah. So in talking with different people, what do you think the major malfunction was last week with the elections?
The major?
What would you say would be the number one issue that we had last week?
I think that our number one problem as a whole last week is just, how should I say this? Einstein said it, if you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, that's insanity. And then he also said that you cannot solve a problem with the same system that caused the problem. And so when we look at everything, again, the messaging is wrong. We are out of touch with the people. We don't even know how to relate to what's going on, and we're afraid to talk about it. I think people are afraid to talk about things because they don't want to be called names. But if we really look at it, how many names you've been called anyway? You know, I think I experienced cancel culture before cancel culture ever was named. because of what I stood for.
So I think you nailed it right on the head, David, when you said our messaging. And the number one issue that I seen, I personally believe anyway, and that is abortion. You know, most conservatives / Republicans, whatever you want to call them, they skirt around the idea or to want to talk about it. But now Ron Johnson, he won because he talked about it. He didn't brush it off. He another one is Ron DeSantis.
Right. But you know, the thing about it is, James Madison says that knowledge will always govern ignorance. And when we look at it, to bring the abortion thing and allow that to win an election on something that we as a people need to understand and realize, first of all, if you go to 20 people that voted in that race and say, tell me the job of a Supreme Court race, of a Supreme Court justice, they can't tell you.
Okay.
So you have a lot of people that voted ignorant. And the problem is, when you look at the abortion issue, they was pushing abortion. And then I saw a country singer that was supporting Dan Kelly, and he pushed the Second Amendment, and he added hunting to the Second Amendment. And I'm sitting there like, come on, you guys, you got to stop this crap, because it has nothing to do. You know, when we do things, you got to ask, and we look at the messaging, and we sitting there like, really? Is this what we're telling people? And look at the majority of the people that voted talk about abortion, right? And the same majority that talks about abortion, the same majority don't even go hunting.
That's right.
So look at the message.
Yep. But I do think that it did come down to abortion as being the number one issue, because it's a hot topic. And there, you know it as well as I do, David, that there are a tremendous amount of people in this state, country, that are single voter issue voters.
Yes.
And I don't know. Instead of looking through everything, you know, from top to bottom, getting to know the person, take a look at Dan Kelly versus Planet Janet. I mean, she doesn't stand a chance with the man. If they were both in the courtroom at the same time, you know, one being the judge and the other the lawyer, and say that, or I guess that's kind of, if they had to go head to head, he would blow her out of the water. She would be looking up any article to try to defend herself, and she is not nearly as witty as he is.
Right.
He's just an all-around smart guy. Now, I don't give a shit if you were a man, woman, black, white. If you're deserving of the job, then you should get it.
Yeah.
Now, I was told a while back here, back in the primaries, if Dan Kelly makes it through,
J-Rod got bumped off. I don't know. We're going to wait till he come back to finish that one, because he just fell off. So he'll be right back. So, you know, when we look at it, at that race that he was talking about, there he is. Let me bring him back.
I'm not
Okay.
sure what happened.
Welcome back. Now finish your statement. All I know that the last thing you said is that you heard in the primary that if Dan Kelly wins, now I'm finished.
If he wins, he will not make it through the general election because he's a white, straight male. What a bunch of garbage.
Yes.
So are we supposed to follow what is happening nationally just because you're a straight white male? You're less deserving of that job, even though you are by far superior doing your job? What are we doing? And if we decide that we are going to go down this road, where does it stop?
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It would never stop. And the reason it would never stop is because we have not drew a line on where it stopped. When, for example, they opened the door for immorality. And when they opened that door for immorality, everything came through that door. You see, when they made the law same-sex marriage, what else did you see with that? You saw a woman marry her dog. You got now people is saying God trapped the wrong, or God sent down the wrong agenda through the woman, that everybody's confused about being a boy or girl. You got pedophiles saying that they're no longer pedophiles because now they're just a minor attractive person. They're attracted to minor people. I mean, that doesn't stop. So it's just going to continue to go on and on and on and on and on. And at the same time that it's going on and on and on, we're getting farther and farther away from morals and values.
Yes. Yeah. And like I was saying, if we continue down this slippery slope, the good men and women that are deserving of running this country, state, city, whatever the case may be, these people will not step forward no longer if this is what we're going to continue going down.
Right. And the thing about it is, we don't have to go down those roads. We don't have to worry about who wins, whether they are male, female, black, white. It shouldn't go like that. One of the problems that we have, and one of the things that we're running my male race on, is truth. And we're going to put out so much truth that you're going to choose to either drink strychnine or not drink strychnine. You're going to know that this is dynamite, or it's not dynamite. When we get done, we're going to show you how they trapped you, how they entrapped you, how they oppressing you, how they lied to you. And if you choose to vote for somebody like that after we present the case, then hey, then we can't do nothing about it. But if we just sit there to see which one of us is going to try to manipulate the people the most, then you're not going to win. But when you put truth on top of truth, on top of truth, on top of truth, then the people got to make that decision. And so we're going to, for an example, the city of Milwaukee, right? And you know this in your area, by you being up north, your county supervisors know they work for you guys. They know if you call a meeting, they better show up, because they know if they don't not show up, they're going to get fired. They know this, right? They know the people is going to go get somebody to run against them, and they're going to put them out of office. The south side of Milwaukee, they know that. The aldermen know that the people are their boss. And so they will not do anything to upset those people, because they know those people will put somebody up against them and run against them and beat them. The north side of Milwaukee is the opposite. The north side of Milwaukee feels that the aldermen are the boss and not the people. But the moment they realize that the people are the boss, you can bring up any issue you want. If it's not lining up with what they want, you're not going to stay there long.
Is that right?
Yes, and that's what needs to be happening. That's a lot of people in the city of Milwaukee don't even know that they can sue their aldermen's bonds. They didn't know that.
You got me on that. Do tell. I don't know what you're referring to.
They all have an insurance bond to protect them.
Okay.
So you can sue their bonds and say, you know what, I'm suing your bonds because you are not representing us the way we want you to represent us. You're not doing your job the way you're supposed to be doing your job. You're not giving us what we need for protection or any of those things. So we're going to sue your bonds. And so you won't sue them per se, but you'll sue that security bond that they have. And so that lets them know you're serious. That lets them know that you're not playing anymore. That lets them know that they're not just going to sit there and do nothing while you crying over your loved ones that's dying because of reckless shootings, not enough police out on the streets because you decide to cut their budget, not because you're getting good services on the north side where the garbage is still out everywhere. Right now, Milwaukee, to be the size city that it is almost bankrupt right now because of mismanagement of funds.
And they're you could say the same for the country.
Yeah.
Look at the crap that's happening there. The dollar is, I think I heard 83 cents is what it's actually worth. And now China, Russia,
are you talking about brick?
What's that now?
Are you talking about brick?
Brick.
Yeah.
Well, China and Russia, and there's a handful of other countries that are now recognizing what is their dollar. I can't even recall what it's called, but
hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Our dollar anymore.
Oh, I'm using the wrong. See, that's what happens when you got two computers going at one time. Let's see. Hold on. I think I did it wrong. But let's see. Okay, BRIC nations. There it is.
But nonetheless, there are a whole host of other countries that
here's the countries you're talking about: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
That no longer recognize the dollar.
And they are called, their acronym, it stands for BRIC, BRICS, BRICS, BRICS. And they're already talking about nation offer a new world order as an alternate to the West.
Yeah, and there you go.
Yep. That's the name of them. It's called BRIC. And you're absolutely right. They are not.
And why would they? For the nonsense that we seem to follow and it captures the headlines, who in their right mind would want to have anything to do with us?
Right. And so when we do it, one of the saddest parts that we're like let's see, ostrich. We got our heads in the ground. We're not paying attention to what's really going on around us. We're just letting a couple of people tell us things, and they got us focused on things like abortion, transgender, while they do everything else. Because they know you're going to fight. They know if they use the word abortion, it's going to be an uproar. They know it's going to be a fight. So you go ahead and fight while we do what we really want to do, right?
Sure.
You know, and they talking about transgender. You know, it is so many homosexuals or the LGBTQ community that's coming out against the transgenders.
Yep. And you know, truth be known, I don't think anybody has a problem with the LGB people. The problem becomes when they start forcing this shit down our throats. And what's worse is that they go after the young and impressionable kids.
Yes.
That's where I really have a problem. I think most of the country does. You know, I don't understand when this happened that it's not okay to be gay anymore. And it's the gay community and a good portion of them people that are speaking out because they are not for all this other nonsense, especially when you're trying to pump this into the young minds of one day maybe running this country. Can you imagine?
I know. And when you look at it, right? When you look at it from that standpoint, most of them are setting children up to be molested. I give you an example, right? If a person never drink alcohol, is he an alcoholic?
If he never drinks?
If he never had a drink, can he be an alcoholic?
I don't know how he could be.
If he never smoked crack cocaine, can he be a crackhead?
No.
Okay. If he never had sex, can he be a nymphomaniac? No.
No.
A virgin cannot be a nymphomaniac. So how can our children be gay if they never tasted or experienced it?
Yeah, very true.
You know, it's just like when you and I was talking and we was talking about abortion, and we made the statement, a woman can kill a baby, and that's called an abortion, and nothing is wrong with that. But a man can kill a woman that's pregnant, and it's double homicide.
Yep, that's right.
It's
senseless. You can't have it both ways.
Right. You know,
it's all or not.
Right. And so we allow them to just chop stuff up and says, hey, you know, this is what we want to give you. And this is what you got to accept. And you got some people in the LGBT community that was molested when they was children, right? So they know that pain. They know how it feels. So can you imagine they in the school trying to stroke those children to be that, to go through those kind of things? And the problem that I have with it is that a child's mind is like a sponge. So they're learning and they soaking up so much information. And if they get the wrong information,
they tend to believe it.
Yes. And now they in trouble. So when we look at this, when we look at it from how should I say?
And another thing, David, if you see it on your phone, on your computer, day in, day out, and you hear that same repeated message over and over and over, you're going to believe everything you hear.
Yes.
If you hear it enough times.
That's true.
You have to be a strong enough person to say, let me take a step back here, because something's just not adding up.
No. and you know, the funny part about that is they're still fighting a fight that shouldn't even be fight for example, the gay and lesbian battle, right? You got gay and lesbians on both sides of the fence. You got Republicans that are gay and lesbians, conservatives that's gay and lesbians, Democrats gay and lesbian, liberal gay and lesbian. So why is they still fighting that fight? And it's on both sides.
Yeah, this isn't the 1980s where this stuff is new,
right,
to anybody.
Right.
But now they're actually going after the kids. And I think that's where the major problem lies with anybody that's got a shred of decency left in their being. It's
that
one thing if an adult that is grown enough to where they know better, if that's what they want to do is in their life, then hey, knock yourself out. But don't push this crap on the children that don't know any better and that are impressionable.
Right.
Do you, by all means, but leave them alone.
Right. You're going after the children, we got a problem. And so it's the same thing when we look at this race that we lost. Well, when I say we, I'm talking about everybody who love their rights. That's what I'm talking about when I say we. I'm not saying conservative, liberal, Democrat. I'm saying those of us who understand and love our rights, no matter what side of the fence you're on. The reason we lost that battle is because we got too many in-house fights. We got too many in-house battles. We got too many things going on that if it ain't the one I want, I'm not going to vote. If it ain't, and don't even realize you're putting your own rights at risk just because you be like, well, the one I liked it didn't win, so I'm not going to do anything. I never saw nobody says, well, my Packers didn't go to the playoffs, so I'm not watching football no more. or my Bucks got put out the playoff. I'm not going to watch basketball anymore. I never seen nobody ever get on Facebook and says, if the Packers don't go to playoff, I'm done watching football. I never seen that. And so when in dealing with our life, we would say something like that. And it's our life I don't get it. I don't get why people will not swallow their little pride and just go ahead and do the things that needs to be done. So what do you think it's going to take to start to push this in a new direction?
I think the GOP needs to get their head out of their ass. They honestly do. The messaging that they're putting out there, and I'm going to bring Ron Johnson back into the mix here. He is the only one that made it through, right?
Yep.
Last year?
Yep.
And DeSantis. Okay, my question is, why? But now if you listen to their messaging, they weren't afraid to tackle the hard questions.
Right.
They said it the way it was, whether you liked it or not. And they weren't afraid to talk about it. Where most conservatives, oh God, it's abortion. Yep, I'm dead against it. That's it. And then on to the next conversation they go, and they have to talk about it. And maybe by convincing one person that may be on the fence with that, maybe they'll take a step back from it and say, are we doing the right thing? Because murder is murder. Right. I don't care how you belittle the term. What is it that the leftists like to use? It's not a baby. It's a
what they call it?
Ellie, it's right there too, and I cannot Come on, one of our helpers. You can, people that are watching, you know.
I know y'all watching, y'all type it in.
Yeah.
But why they doing that? Watch this. Because here's the fight that some of the people on the other side have against people that claim to be pro-life, right? They'll say, you're pro-life, right? And the people say, yeah. Then they say, so how do you feel about the death penalty? Oh, I'm for the death penalty. And they say, well, then how's you pro-life? So,
Well,
you know, it's you know, and the thing about it is, you know, they just, how should I say, they counteract, and then those that are pro-life have no combat, right? So they hit the ball over, like let's say you're playing volleyball. You hit the ball over, I'm against you killing the baby. And then they hit the ball back to you by spiking it and says, what do you think about the death penalty? And they like, oh my God, I ain't got no comeback. So
I got to come back for that.
I knew you did. That's why I said it.
Because they haven't killed anybody yet, or drugged somebody, or committed a crime. They haven't done any of that yet. They're innocent. They have done absolutely
Wait,
nothing.
who's innocent? Who's innocent?
The baby and or fetus is the word I was looking for.
The fetus.
The fetus. Okay. Yep. They tried to alienate it or give it a different name other than a baby, because that's exactly what it is. You know, that I've heard it said so many times, it's just a clump of cells. Is it? Is that what it is? Is a clump of cells? Are you not a clump of cells right now?
Maybe they're doing the Big Bang Theory or something. maybe they just I don't know. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt on how they look at this thing, but I've also I have some people that I know that are on the other side of the aisle from us, and they will say that they're not for abortion, but yet they'll vote the way they did last week. And I asked the person, I said, "No, you just said you were not for abortion." And the same person, I got to tell you this story. So a couple of weeks ago, when that all went down in Nashville, 2 weeks ago, yeah. Oh yeah.
And she says, and she posted it, that she was all for saving the second graders and not the Second Amendment. But then the following week, she is for abortion. And now wait a minute. So you're willing to save the second graders, which rightfully so, but you're going to give up your right to defend yourself? And then you're all for murdering the unborn? What are we talking about here?
I know. Well, you know, they are.
And I don't know what is the law in Wisconsin right now for rape and incest. I don't even know. I mean, do you have to actually prove that it happened? Before you have an abortion?
I don't
know that.
I don't know that one either. I have to check that out. But I'm gonna flip the script on you for a minute, because there's something else that's out here that we got to talk about, and I want and it's beautiful, because even though you're my brother from a different mother, we're gonna talk about it because we're two opposite. We're black and white, so we can have this conversation, okay?
All right.
The Iowa LSU conversation. Have you seen anything about that?
You know, I did see something, but I don't know much about anything that really happened.
Okay, so honest. This is what happened. Now watch this. Iowa on their way to the national championship. I forgot who they played, but the young lady defended. The beauty of this is the young lady Johnson. I think it's Johnson. But she defended the black girl, right? And the young white girl, she played for Iowa. And let me see. I'm gonna type it up so I can say the names right because wrong one. Because I really wanna give her props. Because
You carry on there for a second. I'll be right back, David.
okay,
You get the stats pulled up there.
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Y'all come on in. We finna have some fun with this because I want us to talk about it. Okay, well, we're waiting on J Rod. I'm pulling it up. Y'all, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
All right, I'm back.
Okay, so I'm trying to get the other young lady's name. Kathleen is one. She's the young lady from Iowa. And I'm trying to think of the young lady name from, not now, get out my way. From LSU. What is her name? Somebody type her name in while I'm looking it up. It's the young lady from, open this up bigger so I can see. Get out the way. From LSU, I think her name, if I'm not mistaken, I think her name is Alicia. Let me see. But it's Kathleen Clark, and
Anyway.
Okay, well, anyway, the Kathleen from LSU, from Iowa. What happened was to get to the championship. She did a "You Can't See Me." Somebody just put the name up. Hold on.
John Cena.
Yeah, Angel Reese. That's her name. So Catherine did the John Cena "You Can't See Me" after they beat whoever they beat to get to the championship to play against LSU, right?
Okay.
Well, LSU ended up winning the national championship. So Angela Reese went up by Kaylin and was going, "You can't see me," and doing this. We got the ring, right?
Yep.
They made it racial. They attacked this black girl for doing "You Can't See Me." Joe Biden's wife, you only normally invite the national champions to the White House, right? She invited Iowa to the White House.
For what?
For coming in second place.
You're a loser.
Right. But it was more racial than anything. And so they took a basketball game And Caitlin Clark defended Angel Reese. She defended her. We competing. This is what you do in sports, right? And you can't see me, and all of a sudden I beat you. You can't see me. I get in the ring. I'm getting the ring. And they made it racial. Even white man was calling the black girl an idiot. They was
really.
They was, oh man, they.
Yeah, I don't follow any of that baloney. So,
well, I follow the sports, but because I'm a sports fan, but yeah, they took something that was just a good game, a good, and in everything you taunt in everything. You beat somebody in something, you're gonna taunt, you're gonna dance, you're gonna do something, you're gonna talk crazy. You lose an election, you win an election, you're gonna taunt, you're gonna talk crazy. That's just part of life, right?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Joe Biden wife, the first lady of the United States, as they call her, and what do? Because it was black versus white, you invite the white, and then you want to apologize.
Morgan Freeman, who was he talking to? It was on 60 Minutes. And it wasn't Wallace, but someone that was well known, some white moron. And Morgan Freeman had asked him about Black History Month, and Morgan says, why should I, how did he put that? Why should Black History Month be 1 month out of the year?
Right.
And then he asked the guy that was doing the interview, and he says, so when is White History Month? He says, well, I'm Jewish. And Morgan says, so when is Jewish History Month? Oh, we don't have one. Well, do you want one? No. And Morgan says, Black history is American history.
Right.
And he's 100% right.
Right.
Why do we slice it into the shade of color you are? I don't give a monkey's uncle if you're purple. If you're a good person, then you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's snakes that live among us in every shade of color. It doesn't black, white, green, purple, polka dotted. It just drives me nuts. And Morgan went on to say this as well. And it kind of took me back a little bit. The guy said, so how do we stop racism? And Morgan stopped talking about it.
Right. That's all you got to do.
He said, I'll stop calling you a white man. You call me Jared Lasky, and I'll refer to you as David King. Not right. A black man, but David King.
Right. And that is it right there. If we just stop talking about it, stop talking. We know people don't like each other. Okay, that's fine, but you don't give it the spotlight. Because right. when you give it the spotlight, then that's what make it. That's what take it to another level. I traveled. I remember when I lived in Georgia. And this white manager of ours, he was so used to disrespecting his black employees. And they were so used to accepting it that he would talk crazy to them. And this was like in the 90s. And they would accept him talking to them that way, right? And so when he came to me, he started talking to me like that. And I'm like, hold on, who is this fool talking to? Right? So he just hollering at me, and he walked in the office I walked in that office behind him and I slammed that door and I said, man, let me tell you something. I'm not from down here. You don't disrespect me. I'll whoop you in this office. I will beat and my voice carries. So everybody in the restaurant heard it. I would kick, don't you ever in your life. And I went in, and when I came out, every black person's eyes were so big, like, did you really just do that? I'm like, dude, I'm not from down here. You don't disrespect me. So the owner came, and when the owner came, the owner was from Atlanta. So they was like, oh, here come the big boss, this white guy. And he said, David, can I talk to you? And I said, yeah. So we goes out in the dining room, we talking, and he said, so David, what happened? And I told him, he said, he did what? And I told him, I said, he disrespected me to the point I snapped. And I told him I will whoop his. He said, David, you're one of my best. You don't have to worry about him no more. And he went in there and he started asking other ones, and they were scared to say something. He said, I asked you a question. And they said, yo, he cussed us out every day. He told
Really?
he walked in the office and said, you fired, get out of here. He said, you don't have to worry about that no more. Get out of here. Nobody will open their mouth. Nobody will say, when you allow something to happen and it becomes that culture where, they can just say anything to you or they do anything. And I used to always, because the way I was raised, my mama told me, how did she put it? She said, David, you got to understand, you is not better than nobody and nobody is better than you. Okay.
That's right.
And so when I grew up like that, I grew up with either give me my respect or I would take my respect. I'm going to respect you. So give me mine or I would take it. It ain't got nothing to do with being black, white, or any other color. It's about respecting me as a man as I respect you as a man. I respect you as a woman, respect me as a man.
Yep.
And when we can do that without talking about color, no, because here's the same ones. Let me do it this way, J-Rod. The same ones that's so what's the word? Nasty, that is so-called prejudice. I guarantee you, if they needed a blood transfusion, they got black blood. And the black got white blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guarantee you, if they went to surgery, they got blood, and they don't know if it came from a white person or a black person.
And don't care if you needed it.
If you need the blood. Now we wonder if you took the carrot or not take the carrot. I don't know if I want the blood if you took the carrot, but most of the time people don't care if you're Democrat, Republican. They don't care if you rich or poor, black or white.
Say hello.
What's going on? They don't care if you black or white. They don't care. If I need the blood, give me the blood. If I need a kidney, give me the kidney. If I need a heart, give me the heart. They don't care if the heart is by a black person or a white person.
Well, and now I know different times, but when you're in the thick of, let's say, Vietnam War or any war for that matter, you look at the man in front of you, the man behind you watches you, and so on and so forth. They no longer care about your religion, your color. You're all brothers and sisters, because that's all you got.
Right. And we got to go home.
And we want to go home. And you know what? That's the way we need to start looking at it here too. We are all brothers and sisters. And whether we like it or not, all of us are in this together.
Yes, we are in this together. So, and the thing about it is, we have to look at it. In order to fix America, in order to fix Wisconsin, in order to fix any local community, it takes all of us. It's not going to take one person. It's not going to take one side. We have seen where both sides has failed. So it's not going to take a side, but it's going to take us as a people to come together and do it. And until we realize that and accept that, because here's the thing about it. I was part of the Tea Party during 9/11, right? After 9/11 happened and they was starting to doing the Tea Party and after everything happened, here's the funny part about it. It was no more Democrat or Republican. It was no more black or white. It was no more rich or poor. It was non-educated or non-educated. It was all Americans. People came together to represent the country that they lived in. They came together and said, you have messed up. You messed with the greatest country in the world. That's what they was looking. That's what they was thinking. That's why you had football players that left their career and joined the military. Sons and daughters gave their mom and daddy kiss and joined the military. It wasn't no, I don't care if you was, how should I say this? I don't care if you was part of one of the worst hate groups in America. When you put on that uniform, you want to make sure that if you hated blacks, you was okay with that black watching your back.
You bet.
You know, but we allow them, we allow media. I'll give you an example. You see how media before, they would never allow a black and a white couple to be on TV. And now they got black and white couples all over everywhere. You remember when we was growing up, we didn't even know how they was having babies because the daddy slept in one bed and the mama slept in another bed.
Yep.
You know, and now you got everything on TV. Why? Because what they're trying to tell you is immorality is okay. No matter what it is. You know, you got people that get into tattoos and they're tattooing their faces. And now you got women tattooing their faces. And I'm sitting there like, and how you supposed to get a job? And how you gonna do this? You know, but they putting it on TV like it's really cool, it's really okay. You know what they used to do? They used to put the cigarettes on TV. Remember they put the cigarette on TV and they had a guy light the cigarette and the woman would come up and thought that was sexy for the guy to smoke the cigarette. And that's pushed a lot of guys to start smoking cigarettes because they thought they was going to get the woman.
Sure.
You know, I mean,
speaking about women, I just happened to catch an episode of, oh, golly, what the heck is the name of that? Something University. It's a conservative group, and the gal, she was in with Antifa and all that baloney. I cannot remember her name, but she's no longer affiliated with them people. But it's funny how she said is out of men and women, what group do you think is better off or has what the heck do they what's the slogan that BLM uses on white people all the time?
Black Lives Matter?
No, not that nonsense.
No justice, no peace?
That white people have more rights than black people.
White privilege?
There you go, white privilege. So they had an episode on this evening where they were talking about what race or what male or female has more privilege. And the women started speaking and they said, well, it's us, the women, have more, of that than men. And they're right. So she went on to say women could be dirt poor, good looking, but dirt poor, and she don't have to do anything. So the man is going to defend her. The man is going to, well, first he has to prove that he he's got the cash. PragerU. Yep, absolutely. That's the one. You ever watch any of that?
No.
Very good. It's very inspiring to listen to. And there's a lot of young people on that show. But she said, as a woman, we don't have to do anything other than look good. And I'm not taking anything away from any women, because I know there's plenty of women out there that could give a rip about any guy. They're very independent people. But the man has to have a home. He has to have money. He has to be able to defend the woman. And as long as you're a woman, you're kind of taken care of. But that's where some of that got lost in this world, like opening doors for your wife or your girlfriend or your mom, where these women activists, I can do it myself. Well, now all of a sudden the man starts to pull back, and not only just doing the things that he should be doing, he goes and finds it elsewhere, because you want to do it? Hey, so be it then. I don't have to do that for you no more. But he's doing it because that's what he was taught.
Right.
Now and it's not all women. I know that my wife, she appreciates it when I open the door. I always usher her out the door before I go. My hand's always in the small of her back. All right, come on. And never ever complain. But I do know women like that you go and open the door, or you pump the gas if they're driving the vehicle.
Right.
You go pump that gas. I'll get it myself. You just do you. Sit down and be quiet.
Well, a lot of that comes from fathers not validating their daughters, and so
I think, to be honest with you, much like racism, it's a learned.
Yeah, it's learned. I mean, because you gotta look at it. When you have children where the mother, in nature, by nature, a father spoils his daughter but train his sons. And the woman normally spoil her sons and train their daughters. And so when you got a mother who's training her daughter to do, right? Do. Where in our household, I remember we had our dad, but he only came to whoop us. He wasn't in the house. So our mom took her boys and she put us in the kitchen. And she says, I'm going to teach you how to cook. And we was like, really? Why we got to learn this? And one of the things she told me, she said, because you might not have a wife and you got to eat. So you need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to do laundry. You need to know how to sew. You need to learn yourself just in case you don't have it. But at the same time, you don't have to, like me, my wife, I let her be the wife of the house. Sometimes I don't even want to wash dishes, which I really don't wash dishes. My wife washes the dishes. And me, I love doing laundry, so I do the laundry. I'll be like, okay, I do the laundry and you wash the dishes. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, look like J-Rod frozen. It's just coming to, are you there, J-Rod? You froze. It's just about us coming together to make the household work. And I think that that's something that's got to happen in every household. Oh, there you go. You're back. Uh-oh, he went back out. Okay, come on back, J-Rod. But, it's a system that each household should have. But a man, and I'm gonna say it like this. There you go, J-Rod. I'm gonna say it like this. A man should never sit in a car and let the woman pump the gas. I don't care if they independent or not. You do not let her pump that gas.
But that nonsense kind of started with that Me Too movement,
Right.
didn't it?
Yeah. And so I don't think a man should let his wife or woman pump the gas. I don't think he should let her go to the gas station at night. I think he should make sure that if you're going, no, I'll fill it up for you. I'll make sure you got gas, you got enough to get where you're going and get back. I don't think, and this is just me, a wife should be out shoveling snow. I think that's the man that should do that. Unless he got a bad back or something, then you hire somebody. It's just certain things I don't see me allowing my wife. She never, since we've been married, she never touched the shovel.
Tiny, have you ever shoveled snow? Have you ever shoveled snow?
Me?
Yeah. No, I didn't think so.
You see,
and
you
you're 100% right, David. Somewhere along the lines that got lost.
It did. And the thing about it is, as men, we're supposed to teach our sons these kind of values, right? You open that door for her, you let her in the car, you open the door, get her out the car, you open the door, let her into the restaurant before you get in there.
And I don't know about you, David, but when we even walk down a sidewalk, I always stand or walk along the side of traffic. Always.
Yeah, I'm the one by the traffic. She's on the inside. I'm on the outside. And when we at the restaurant, her back to the door, not mine. I'm watching that door. I don't, sometimes she be wanting to sit back. I'll be like, you go over there. I got this.
I'm the same way. And Tiny, she recognized that when we went to Mexico. But I always do, even when I'm here. My eyes are always focused on that door. Even when I pull into a parking stall, my nose is always pointed out. So I'm not looking around. I got a clean getaway if need be. But Tiny asked me when we were in Mexico, why do I always sit in the corner? I said, well, one, I'm from out of town. But more importantly, these people don't know me and I don't know them. I might get it, but someone else is going to get an ass whooping too.
Exactly. And Mary, I'm glad my wife don't mind either, but I'm not going to let her out there to do it. It's just something, and I love, Mary, y'all do teamwork and y'all do it together. It's just something that is embedded in me. I will not allow her to do it. If I can't do it, I hire somebody to do it. But I just doesn't, I don't want her to do it. And, even with dishes, I can't stand washing dishes. And I thank God my wife don't mind washing dishes. She can't stand washing clothes. I love washing clothes. I don't have a problem washing clothes. So there's a trade in there. There's a standoff. I don't like her taking the garbage out. I'll take the garbage out, just set it to the side and I'll take it out. There's just certain things that we, as men, we just do. It's not saying that we're better or anything like that.
Nope.
It's just certain things that we do.
We all have a role to play. And men are certainly better at certain things, and women are most definitely better at certain things.
Yes.
It was bred into us, and that's just how it is. And there's a difference between men and women. End of story.
It is. It's a difference, and the beauty of it is we can acknowledge and I don't want to even say, I'm gonna say it this way: we acknowledge each other role, and we respect each other role. And you know, every time I get ready to leave the house, I'll be like, okay, how do I look? Because I'm finna represent you. So how do I look? Do I look okay to represent you? She said, yeah. I'll say, okay, good. Then I'm gonna go.
You know, that's funny. I always wear white t-shirts because I hate heat. I had heat stroke years ago, and I just never snapped out of it or whatever happened. And you know, I come home, my shirts are all oily and just disgusting, you know, from working with blacktop or whatever the case might have been that day. And my shirts started getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And I'm not saying I'm getting fat, David, but my wife will soak them shirts for days on end. And of course, by soaking them and then throw them in the dryer,
They shrink.
We got some shrinkage. And I said, Tiny, I don't mind if I have some stains on there, on my shirt, my pants. And she says, my mama told me many years ago that I represent you. So if you go to work looking dirty, that's bad on me.
Right.
And I never thought of it that way, but I guess if you want to soak my shirts for days to get that stain out, then
go right ahead.
Knock yourself out.
And you know, we never really paid it any attention, but I tell my wife, I say, I'm finna go get my haircuts because I gotta represent you. I can't look like a crackhead. I gotta look good. And so, but I'll be joking, but the reality is I represent my house, right? I represent my wife, right? And if she let me go out the house looking any kind of way, raggedy or stuff like that, then it's an image on her. You know, what kind of wife are you? You know, that your husband coming out the house looking like that. And the same thing when she get ready, she said, babe, how I look? I'll be like, oh, you good. You represent me well today. You know, going on out there and represent, you know. And that's how it's supposed to be, you know. That's how it's supposed.
Yeah, them values somewhere along the line. I can't put my finger on it when it happened, but you know, that's a value that, of course, again, is taught.
Yes.
You're not going to learn it by Instagram and TikToking and worrying about what Joe Bob down the road is doing. That parents need to parent and stop being a pal.
Yep.
And I think that's where society has gone wrong. Old school values. That's right.
That's it. And you know, I teach young men today, well, young and old. Together and individual.
Mary,
right there again. You go. Way to go, Mary. And you know, I tell men this. I said, listen, man, sometimes you just need to go wherever your wife is. She's in the kitchen, she's in the living room, she might be doing something. Just go over there and give her a dry hump, right? And I say, not because you want sex at the time. It's just to remind her how sexy she is to you, right? So go give your wife a dry hump. It's legal. You're married. Give her a dry hump.
A little tap on the keister.
Yeah,
it'll be all right.
But let her know she's still sexy to you. Let her know you still value her. Let her know that, you know, that, okay, we married now, so I ain't got to do all that. No, I need to do it even more now. I need to let you know now while you washing dishes or while you in there combing your hair or whatever you doing. You know, I need to come behind you and do a dry hump to remind you, you know, you're still sexy, you know, and I remember saying that on the campaign trail one time. I was doing an event and we was talking about marriage and stuff like that. And a lady got actually, oh, she agreed. Okay. And a lady literally got upset with me because I told husbands to go get a dry hump.
So, Mary, I've got to ask you a question. Would you prefer a dry hump or a little crack on the keister?
Knowing Mary, she probably say both.
That a girl.
She probably say both, but the thing about it, those are the things that we don't want to talk about. Those are the things we ought to be talking about. Let me see what she say. All the above. But those are the things that we ought to talk about. We, go back to the values, open the door, let her feel special, don't sit, especially men, don't sit with your back to the door. You won't be able to protect your woman. Don't walk on the inside of the street on the sidewalk. Walk on the outside of the street, right? Don't be ashamed to hold her hand in public. Hold her hand. Show more love in public than you do private.
That's right.
Let people know you love her.
And and in doing so, it's contagious.
Yeah. And flirt with her. You know what? I gotta tell you what I did, J. Rob. What girls wouldn't want some. Okay. Let me tell you what Skinny and I was doing yesterday at the game while we was working, right? We're flirting with each other. She down on one end, I'm on the other end. I'm like, hey, baby, yeah. And I do a little dance and she'll do a little dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, please, we gonna have some fun in this one. And so, this is some of the stuff that people got. If you, as men, I asked them, are you the thermostat or the thermometer in your house? And most men's are the thermometer. But me, I'm the thermostat. If there's going to be peace in my house, because I brought the peace. If there's going to be love in my house, it's because I brought the love. If there's going to be joy in the house, because I brought it. If it's hatred in the house, I brought it. So, not her, I did it. And so I set the atmosphere for my house, right? Just like you set the atmosphere. Your sons, your wife, your friends, your neighbors, anybody come to your house, they know there's certain things they would never get away with at your house, right? That's the same way my house is. You and I just going to come in my house and get away with anything. You're going to come in my house with respect because there's a level. Talking about I heard you too. Okay, you heard us. But there's a level of oneness or a level of respect that we have in our house, right? And so you got to have it for your marriage, right? As a married man, there's a level or there's a culture for my marriage. There's not just I'm the husband, she the wife, do what I say. No, it is
the ball and chain.
Right, the ball and chain. Lord, I gotta pray before I go in the house. Oh, all that. No. Or I gotta get drunk before I go in the house. No, it's gonna be a loving setting. Is there any disagreement? Always disagreements. Everybody, no marriage never had a disagreement.
I would say I'd come very close to that, but there's a reason why. and for all the listeners out there tonight, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. If you can find somebody that doesn't speak English, you have nothing to argue about. Nothing. And it's true. She could be, and she doesn't, but I'm saying if she did, right, speaking in Spanish to me, I know all the naughty words, so I'd catch on to, yep, she's pretty upset. But it sounds pretty hot to me when she would get to saying something, whatever. Sounds good. Let's do that. Just go with it. But I think I could count on one hand how many times we've ever had an argument.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the same way. But the thing about it is that communication.
Yes.
Just talking it out, having a conversation, let each other know what you don't like, and then deal with it and move on.
Yeah. And we should be looking at exactly what you're talking about in the political world of things too.
Yes.
It's no different.
That's why one of the things that we're going to have back in our school is debate class. We're going to allow the children to learn how to debate, learn how to communicate without picking up a gun or a knife, and let's have these conversations, these critical conversations, and how to deal with things without the violence behind it. And so if we can do that even in the political arena, guess what happens? Now you can have conversation with somebody that's not on your side, and you can come to some kind of agreement that what's going on, because there's not one person, and I say Wisconsin, there's not two people in Wisconsin on both, one on each side of the fence, that they can't find one thing to come to the middle and agree on. I don't believe that. I believe that there are things that they can agree on just by having a conversation.
And I think part of the takeaway from that, David, is the keyboard cowboys. You know, when we see it all the time on Facebook or whatever social media platform you're on. My mom always told me if I would never say it in front of her, don't ever say it.
Right.
And well, you know me, I let her rip. But, you know, where person to person conversation is way different than an email or a text or
right.
arguing back and forth on Facebook that gets you absolutely nowhere. I shouldn't say that, not in all cases. A couple of weeks ago, I had a discussion with a gal that she was in the drag, and I let her know where I stood on it. And at the beginning of that conversation, you know, we kind of butted heads, but about midway through there, we actually started to coming together, and she didn't see the side that I see or that we see, where the bad comes out. She's in it for the fun. Right. And hey, you can't put a price tag on fun. It's fun to have fun.
You know, I had a conversation with a progressive, and we had like a 3-hour conversation. She don't believe in in the conversation, I found out she doesn't believe in abortion. Her thing is you shouldn't be able to tell a woman what to do. And so we had a conversation, and I said to her, I tell you what, I would love for them to have 2 consultations. If they after the 2 consultations, if they want to get abortion, fine. She said, what would be the 2 consultations? I said, the first one is she will have a conversation with a woman that had an abortion, who is now mentally messed up, who won't forgive herself, who feel God won't forgive her, who's wondering what the baby will look like today, who's wondering if it would have been a boy or a girl, who's wondering, you know, because nobody ever talks about the mental effects of an abortion, right?
Or the long-term effects.
Right, the long-term effects. And then I said the second consultation with her literally sitting there and watching an abortion. And she was like, oh, wow.
Well, and she's right. Look at what COVID did to all of us. Yeah. Where they forced us into that diaper that they made us wear around our face. You know, a good portion of America didn't want nothing to do with it. And because they didn't want to be told what to do. So in that respect, when it comes to the abortion issue, yeah, let's have them conversations. The tough ones are the hardest ones to have, right?
Right.
But nonetheless, they're still important to have. You can't just put it on the back burner, but by opening their eyes, other than you're not going to tell me what to do.
Right.
There's more to it than that. You know, Has there ever been a study done? And if there was, I've never seen it, and maybe there has, where they seen or watched that long term process from having an abortion from a particular person.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to know what the outcome of that person is, because I think I got a pretty good idea. I've got a couple of people that I know that have had abortions, and they bury themselves in mainly alcohol, but do tangle with drugs outside of that as well.
Yeah, because they don't pay attention to the after effects of what would happen when it comes to having that abortion. And so, and nobody want to talk to them and say, well, this is going to happen to you. This is how it's going to be. No, it's not. They never tell you the after effects, right? They never tell you. There's a guy. I'm gonna find him again. When he was a baby growing up, his grandmama wanted a granddaughter, not a grandson. So he ended up, she ended up putting dresses on him as a child, and his uncle was raping him, molesting him. He ended up with a sex change. Then when he got older, it messed him up. He found the Lord, he got his mind right with God, and then he reversed the sex change and reversed back. And now he goes around warning parents the mental effect that it does to a person that ended up with the sex change.
Yeah, and there again, what the long-term effects of it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
They never want to talk about the long-term effects, but they will say, oh, well, the child knows best. Now, for years, the child didn't even know better. Now, all of a sudden, you're telling me the child knows best? The best of what?
Right.
What is this? What do this child know? What is it about this child that he's automatically comprehending everything?
Yeah.
Because
it took us 30 years to get where we're at, but now 2-year-olds automatically know what's best for them.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Think
about that.
I know a 5-year-old don't even know that if I stick my finger in a socket, that it can kill me, but I know that I'm trapped in the wrong body. Really?
Well, and of course, then we got to talk about the almighty dollar that goes along with it. There's a lot of money to be had.
Lots of money.
Because of it.
Lots of money.
Well, it's like, I just had this discussion tonight about cancer. You cannot tell me that there's not a cure. You cannot tell me. You can't make money off of healthy people.
No.
And I think I may have sent you the video. If not, I will. There was a guy, he had bone cancer, prostate cancer, and lung cancer. And the doctor said, basically go home and count your days. You don't have weeks, you have days. The dude went and talked to a veterinarian. And I know some people are going to laugh and all this other nonsense that they do, but they got him on dog wormer. And I think benzene is the active ingredient in it. 2 years later, the man is completely cured of cancer. Not only is he completely cured, but he also helped 40 other people that are cured from it as well. $5 cure.
Right. There's a guy by the name of LASKY. He's a master herbalist. He done healed cancer, AIDS, all all kind of diseases with just natural herbs. Natural herbs. And I took some of his herbs, and that's called bitters. Lord have mercy. It's bitter, but it did the job. It's my doctor is a holistic doctor. So, you can't, I got some, and I think I got some more. I got some flash drives with Robert Kennedy Jr. talking about this stuff, right? And I'm sitting there like, okay, when you start talking about healing folks, you become a bad person. You become arch enemy number one, because you're messing with the pharmaceutical, you're messing with everybody's money, because they give you medicine not to kill you, but to sustain you as you continue to go on. And then all of the medication you take is what killing you. It's not even the actual disease that's killing you. It's the medication and the things they do that kills you. Like, I went to the doctor, they gave me a prescription, and they said, this is what you need to take. And so what I did, I called my daughter, who's a pharmacist, and I said, what's the side effects? And she told me the side effects. I said, I would never take that. And so I don't take it, I do vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B, zinc. I do all of that, but you're not going to get me to take no medicine. That I won't do. You can tell me, I will stay in pain before I take medicine, because I'm not doing it. You're not going to give me a medicine that's going to cure a headache, but it's going to kill my liver, or it's going to kill my kidneys. I'm not taking that.
Now let's rewind a little bit back to COVID.
Okay.
Where get your mask, get vaccinated, blah,
get the
blah,
carrot,
blah, blah.
get the carrot.
Now, and I'm not picking on homeless people, but shouldn't them have been kicking the bucket long before anybody that got the vaccine?
Yeah, they should have.
You know what I mean? I mean, they are probably the unhealthiest people.
But
maybe not all, but the ones that are taking the drugs and just, I don't.
But let's look at this, right? You have winos, right? Homeless winos. They drink every day. They share the bottle. None of them got COVID, right? You got people that sharing cigarettes. You got people that sharing a marijuana joint or a blunt. You got all of these people who's homeless, who have no access to health care.
When that COVID first hit here, I was over by some Amish friends of mine that I deal with, and I asked them, had they seen much of the COVID when it first started? And he said, well, no. I said, well, that's weird. He said, well, we don't have TV. But he said, truthfully, it's been coming out of the north. Well, what direction do we get our wind in the wintertime? The north.
Yeah. But when now people are going back and they're thinking, right? So, for example, Mayor Barrett told everybody to wear the mask, social distance, right? He tried to make it a law. He tried to make it mandate, shut everything down, make a mask. The Bucks won the championship. Thousands of people in their district. Everybody didn't have on a mask. They win the NBA championship. Tom Barrett, Tony Evers, and the rest of them up there celebrating, no mask. Then they do a parade, no social distance. Soon as the celebration got over, what did they do? They put the mask back on and told everybody to social distance.
Doesn't that beat all? And I seen a meme I think I posted it yesterday, where the plane is plumb full of people all wearing their face diaper, and the church is empty.
Right. But wait. Here's the crazy part in Milwaukee. COVID spiked when it was time to vote, but it didn't spike when the Bucks won the championship.
Weird.
I'm sitting there like, and y'all buy this stuff. How can y'all sit there and allow them to continue to lie to you on something that if you just stop for a minute, move your emotions, and just think, how is it that if you go to church, you catch COVID, but if you're rioting, there's no spike in COVID? Or you can go vote and you catch COVID, but you celebrating the Bucks winning the NBA championship and no spike in COVID.
That's right.
I mean, they just lied to us over and over and over and over and over again, because they do two things and they do two things right now in media, in Main Street media, that they know if I do these two things, we can continue to control the people. Hatred through anger by showing you either a cop killing somebody or a black and white fighting, and they keep that going to get you angry and upset. And then they show you numbers about COVID and it gets you to be scared. So they either got you scared or they got you angry.
Yeah. And well, if you rewind the clock a little back, even Hitler era, what did he use? Fear.
Right.
Fear, propaganda. He was awesome at it.
Right.
And then of course what he did to the Jews.
Yeah.
You know, and in the promise that they're going to a better place. I wonder, do you suppose that people would have fought if they knew?
Oh yeah, they would have fought.
Loaded themselves up on cattle cars?
If Germany knew what Hitler was going to do, they would have never gave up their guns.
Never.
If they knew. And see,
I believe that took 4 years.
Yes.
4 years. And they're basically doing the same bullshit here.
Right. And they're getting people to hate guns because people don't understand, if they take everybody guns, they can issue martial law. And if they issue martial law, then they can do anything to you and your family.
There's a reason that this country has never been invaded. Ever.
Right.
Because they know
everybody got a gun.
I believe it was the admiral from Japan, or he was high up on the list, and he said, in America, there is a gun behind every blade of grass. That's why they never, ever invaded.
And that's why in the books in Virginia, that it was against the law for you to leave your house without your gun. If you went to church in Virginia back then, you had to have your gun or you got a fine. If you had your gun and no bullets, you got a fine. So everywhere you went, you were supposed to carry your gun. So you look at it and sit there and be like, okay, what is they doing? They're trying to reverse everything so we can go all the way back. And if we go all the way back far enough, then they say, okay, we can get them. Because you got to remember, they controlled them, a great population of poor whites and blacks, because they wouldn't let them get educated, right?
So I've got one for you.
Okay.
And it says, you may not like guns, that's your right. You may not believe in God, that's your choice. But if someone breaks into your home, the first two things you are going to do is call somebody with a gun and pray they get there in time.
You're absolutely right. That's exactly what they're going to do. Please hurry up. Please, whatever, please, I need you. I need you now. I need you. So the thing, and when we look at this thing, right, you got people say defund the police. But the one that hollered to fund the police is the first one want to call 911.
Here's another one for you. A wolf attacks a sheep. The sheep dies. Other sheep observe the killing and notice that the teeth killed the sheep. The sheep then remove their own teeth for their own safety.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that one. And you know, when we look at it, there's one that I saw that I love. It was a woman, and she was in her kitchen, and this guy was breaking in through the kitchen door, the back door. And when he was breaking in, the sign says that door was locked for your protection. And the woman was reaching in her back for a gun, but it said that door was locked for your protection. And you know, and so when we look at a lot of this stuff going back to from 2020 to now, and we look at I like to look at it at everything, right? So we march for medical freedom, right? Remember that? We march for medical freedom, that there's no mandate on nobody. We march to remove the mask off our children in school, right? We march to get the mask, or the diaper, as you call it, off of, right? We march for a better education, and we march for get the pornography out of our school system, right? We march to keep, as we call, our freedom, our constitutional rights, right? And then we go and vote the opposite.
Yep.
So all of that standing outside, all of that we done, all was in vain.
All for nothing.
All for nothing, because we got nothing out of it. No medical freedom. We're still fighting that. Our rights is in jeopardy right now because we didn't do what we were supposed to do for that. We got the wrong governor in the office because we didn't do what we were supposed to do for that. So mandates, children, parents are now terrorists if they go up to the school and demand that they do right by their child. So
you said mandates, and I think most people don't know what that word actually means. That's if you and me go and have dinner someday. Right. That's a mandate.
Right. Yes. And so when we look at it, right, people stood outside. I was in a lot of the rallies and protests. I'm a black man in Whitelaw, Wisconsin. Now, Whitelaw, of all places, I'm in Whitelaw, Wisconsin, speaking at a rally as a black man in Whitelaw. And so, we're doing rallies. They're talking about medical freedom. They're educating people on the virus. They're educating people on what you need to do. So we're doing all that rally. We're telling people the only way it's going to happen is you got to get in on the inside. We got to change the guards. We got to get rid of that leadership, put in new leadership. And what happened? Those one issues, voters, like you said, the ones that was for voter rights didn't vote so you can have voter rights, because they didn't vote the one in office because the one that was fighting for voter rights didn't get in, right? So that group did not do what they were supposed to do. The group that wanted medical freedom, or because they supported her, she didn't get in. So what did they do?
Took their basketball, went home.
Took the basketball, went home. And what are we left with now?
More of the same.
More of the same, and it's going to get worse. Because why? You got a governor there for 4 years who can do whatever you want. He can veto whatever you want. You got the Supreme Court now that are tilted to the left. So your rights are going to be challenged into the fact that we're going to have more money, because once the Supreme Court do the dumb thing, we're going to have to go to the United States Supreme Court just to get it overturned. So
and I don't think most people even knew or know that that's a 10-year term.
10 years. So now you sitting there looking like, okay, so now we got to really go back and take it locally. We really got to go do locally. Milwaukee has a mayor race, alderman race, county executive race, county supervisors races, all in 2024. And what do we need to do? We need to remove everybody out of office because the city and the county didn't get better. It got worse. So why would you allow people to stay in office when it got worse and not better? And so if we don't start fixing it from a local standpoint, then we up the creek without a paddle.
Is from what we just witnessed last week, we already lost 2024. If we have the same messaging that we did a week ago, we already lost.
Well, I see what you're saying. Yes, if we go with that same message. But you know what a turnaround is going to be? Here's what a turnaround is going to be, J-Rod. And you can quote me on this one. The turnaround is going to be Milwaukee, because Milwaukee is the key to everything. And once I'm saying it boldly, and I know you got Republicans and you got some conservatives says that a right man cannot win Milwaukee. We're about to prove them wrong. But once we win Milwaukee and become the mayor of Milwaukee, it's going to be like, oh my God, how did you do it? We did it with the right message. It's not about a side, but it's about the people.
That's
and
right.
Once we do that, it's not about being a Democrat, Republican, liberal, or conservative. It's about all of us having a better Milwaukee. I gotta share this with you. I gotta share something. You ready for this?
Fire.
I put this on my TikTok. So those of you that's on TikTok that is not following me, go TikTok and follow me. But I put this on TikTok. I put one of my pictures, but I put this in. Let me see. I'm gonna connect this to. Oh wait, I'm gonna connect this back to
Bluetooth connected.
Okay, it's connected. Listen to this. This is what's on my. Let me see. What did she say? Yes, Mary, I need your help. I'm running for mayor for Milwaukee. I'm gonna need your help so we can have a better Milwaukee. But this is on my TikTok. It's a picture, one of my flyers, the flyer I sent you, that flyer with this message. You ready for this? Because you're gonna like this. Let me just come out of there. Here we are. Watch this. Wait. Okay, I gotta go back. I gotta turn it up. I forgot I had it turned down. Okay, here we go.
That you must take. You gotta have that mindset that quitting is not an option. Give up? Who me? Never. Stop? Who me? Never. That's for the next guy. That's for the next girl. But not me. Why? Because I don't quit. That ain't how I do it. That ain't how I roll. I never give up. You must understand that there will come a time in your life that circumstances are going to challenge you no matter what you do, but you must never give up.
Don't let the obstacles discourage you and make you believe that it's not meant to be. Pursue when it's hard. Pursue even when it would make more sense to give up.
Not you, champ. You ain't the one. Not you, kid. You ain't the one to quit. Giving up is not what you do. You got the wrong one here, baby. Until you believe that, until you feel that, until you live that. We got work to do. You see, quitting is a mindset. Quitting is an attempt that you must take.
I like the message there, David.
Yes.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
The Marines have a saying, one of many, but the one that sticks with me, and I was never in the military, but I have a lot of Marine friends, and it's embrace the suck, because it's coming for each and every one of us. So
yes.
Embrace it.
Oh yeah. And so
don't lose your mind over it. Just absorb it, move on.
Yes. And that's why I say what I say, because
I thought maybe your message was going to be what Joe Biden had said. If you don't vote for me, then you ain't black.
No, that ain't my message. No.
I'm just messing with. I know better. I just messing with you.
Right, and so the thing about it is, Milwaukee is going to be an example, and it's not going to be an example where, and I tell people, it's not going to be an example where Republicans get their hands up, or the Democrats get their hands up. It's going to be the people taking their rightful place again. That's why in Chicago, the people gave an example in Chicago. Anytime you take your mayor and don't let the incumbent come out of the primary, the people spoke. 16% of the votes. She only got six. She didn't even come in second place. They sent a statement, and the people of
in Milwaukee or Chicago?
Chicago.
Yeah, but you know what they got in its place.
Yeah, but that's another story. They're getting ready.
It's more of the same.
It's the same thing, but because they keep going in that direction. But Milwaukee is going to be a difference, because there are so many people that are sick and tired of the lies. There are so many people that we're working with and we're working on to move the emotions and just think rational. Take time to think about it. And one of the things that I shared with them was, you have black leadership in every area of Milwaukee. You got black leadership, black mayor, black county executive, black chief of police, black sheriff, and the sheriff is not only black, but she's a woman. So you got black sheriff, you got black county supervisors, county executive, alderpersons, school board, state representative, state senators, and a black congresswoman. And a black person still got to lead Milwaukee to prosper. So it's not even about being black anymore. And they all Democrats. So it's not saying that the Democrat Party is for you anymore. It's about the people saying, you know what? We got to be for ourselves now. We done been lied to. Both parties done lied to the black community. Both parties done told the Latino communities they were going to do A, B, and C, and they never got it. Both parties done lied to poor white people and say, we're going to do this for you, and they didn't get it. Both parties voted for the people that had money voted to both parties, and they said, oh, if you give us money, we're going to do A, B, and C, and nobody got a good return on their investment.
Well, and I think you can attest for this as well. So many times we see where people get into office, be it mayor, judge, on and on and on, but they never hold these people accountable once they get there.
Right.
They may remember that in 2 years or 4 years when their term comes around again. But during that time, out of sight, out of mind, right?
Right.
And we need to pick up that phone and don't be afraid to use your voice.
Right. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. And so I was talking to a guy after he found out I was running. He said, so why are you trying to get rid of our mayor? I says, as a person, he's a good guy. He's just not a leader. And he said, well, you got to give him a chance. He just got there. I said, but he was an alderman before he was there. What did he do as an alderman?
No.
So nothing. And there's one man controlling both offices. And his name is Chris Abele. Chris Abele put money in the mayor's office because he got him elected. And he also gave money to the black guy that's the county executive. So this man is sitting at home with the power of the city and the county. So once somebody puts you in their pocket, they own you. You only can do so much. And so they're not for the people because they're not talking the right things that's going to address the people. They talked about the lead in Milwaukee for a while, and then they got federal dollars for the lead, and guess what happened? It went away.
Imagine that.
Nobody is talking about it at all. Yes, he is. And
David,
so
we're going to have to wrap this up, my friend.
oh yeah, because you got to get up, and I got to get up, and we all got to get up, and so this is fun. I'm glad you decided to share your night, because I know you got to get up early with us. So go ahead, and is there anything you want to say before we hang up, get off the air?
The one thing that I guess I will keep repeating until I have no air left in my lungs, and I said it the last time I was on your show, that we are all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
Black, white, pink, we're all in it together. We need to separate our feelings from reality, and don't be so concerned about thyself. Worry about your kids.
Disconnected.
Yes.
Where are your kids going to be in 10 years, 5 years? Are you leaving them anything better than what came before you? So
that's a good one.
At that, I guess that's all I've got to say, my friend. All
right. And I just want to say to people, we got 10 months to make Milwaukee a better place. And we have to just slow down, like J. Rod said, move our emotions out the way, and let's look at reality. Reality, we have not gotten anything better in Milwaukee. Nothing changed. It got worse. We see more families grieving. We see children being less educated. We're seeing businesses got to go outside of the city of Milwaukee to prosper. We see nobody is walking around excited about being in the city. No hope, no nothing. And so in the thick of things, it's not going to take me. It's going to take us as a whole to come together and make Milwaukee better. You got good people on the left. You got good people on the right. You got some great ideas. Let's bring those ideas to the middle, and let's put this thing together that is going to make all of our lives better. Because if Milwaukee get healed, then every other city in the state of Wisconsin, Milwaukee is no longer a burden, but a blessing. And so we just want to say thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight. Thank you guys for watching and commenting. And I know we was everywhere. We was on all kind of things tonight. And this is what I love about it. But we love you guys, and we will see you guys next week. Well, Think About It Tuesday is tomorrow. So we will be doing a Think About It Tuesday tomorrow night. Y'all tune in. I'm going to have something that's going to be fun. All right? From J-Rod and David, God bless. Thank you, J-Rod. Appreciate you.
Citizen. citizen, kingdom citizen, yeah, yeah, kingdom citizen.